You can tell whether a system has been designed with an intuitive interface and is designed to be easy to use if you look at some of the more complex tasks, which are common requirements in an enterprise system, and you find how simple they are. One of those examples is the ability to do a change across the board in your system. There are many ways of doing that, and it all depends on the different scenarios that you're looking at. But I'll give you an example here of the mass update functionality in Interact HRMS. Mass update allows you to make a change, just like it says, make an update or change to a group of employees selected by your filter and by your own selection. And the change that you can make is either to assign a new policy, to revoke an existing policy, to increase an existing compensation policy or decrease one, or to activate or deactivate a particular policy for that employee, or do other types of changes. So let's take a look at what that looks like. It's very simple. I go in here, I can filter first of all for employee groups or the type of organization units that I'm looking for. For example, if you're dealing with a bank, you might say only the branches will be impacted by this policy. I can filter based on gender or marital status if there's any reason to do that. Maybe there are some benefits or particular policies that are dependent on that, or I can go by job title or anything else. For example, if I want to go and say I only want the administrative assistants in this company, and I'll do a search, and then I get all the administrative assistants. I could have gone here and done a further filtering based on job class, category, grade, or seniority, and so on. And I can either check all of them or uncheck them here and just select a number of them. In my case, I'm going to check all of them. And let's say I want to give them a new family allowance. You see here I can assign a policy. So here are my compensation policies. So we have our allowances, we have our benefits, we have our bonuses, deductions, earnings, and so on. Now I could go in here and say from now on we want to give them sick leave, which they weren't entitled to before. And if that's the case, then all I need to do is say I want to add sick leave, and I'm going to also include the sick leave policy itself. That means that they're entitled to it and that there will be an accrual possibly for that, and a starting balance, which can be 0 for all of them or could start at some number. And there will be an earning associated with that so that you get paid while you're on sick leave. Now, the effective date for this could be in the future for this change. Our products support future dating and effective dating throughout the product. Because the product allows me to assign more than one job to an employee, I can actually choose to apply this policy only to the primary job that the employee holds, or the secondary, or all of the jobs that he or she holds. And then I can go in here and say, this has been approved by Barbara, and here's the approval number. And I'm going to go and enter the proper passwords. And now you'll notice that 21 records have been updated successfully, and the change has been made. That's all that it took. So at the same time, I could go and revoke a policy and say I want to revoke this policy from all of these employees, or I want to increase a policy. Let's give you another example. And say I want to give all of our accountants an increase in 5% of their training allowance, or 10%. Now in that case, the system will verify the training allowance for each one of these people and will automatically increase it by 10% as of an effective date. Alternatively, we can do a decrease, of course. We could activate or deactivate existing policies or compensation rules for an employee. And then we can also go and modify any particular earning parameter that exists for any of our employees or across the board. I can say I want to make a change to the family allowance policy in our system. And here we are. and we can go and choose the change that we want to make, what the current value is, what the new value is, and go ahead and make that change and apply it across the board. So this is just one manner of doing mass updates, but you see I do it all in one screen. Similarly, we can do mass import of compensation, we can do mass work schedule assignment, we can do a transfer from one department to another, from one project to another of any number of employees with one process. We can obviously also change job titles, do all kinds of things, and I'm not even looking at the regular policy changes or the import tools that we have here. The beauty about Interact is that it is a very sophisticated enterprise-wide application which can be made to work in a very simple manner, where with one single screen you can make very significant changes that have an impact on payroll and many other elements in the system without having to worry about how this all works. The system will do the worrying for you. You just enter what it is that you need. You have it approved through the workflow and the job is done. That's what Interact HRMS can do for you.